Hey there, this is the Daily Landsblog for November the 16th, 2018. And yesterday I asked a question, are you a person that has this cycling between not having suicidal thoughts where things are actually decent in your life and then being struck very quickly by suicidal thoughts? So, you go up and down and up and down. Now, many of us have the up and down part, which I do, but I don't have the suicidal thoughts part of it. And I asked the question, how can you learn from your experiences of not feeling these thoughts? How can you teach the other you to weather the storm? And there were some really great suggestions. So take a look at yesterday's Landsblog and keep the suggestions coming in. Tomorrow, I'll talk to you about some of the ideas, but they're still coming in right now. You know the name Patrick Brown. He was the leader of the Ontario Progressive Conservative Party. Correct, Case?
Yeah.
Yes. And he was ousted in what was a scandal. It was really ugly, and he wrote a book. And in the book, which has not been released yet, Lisa MacLeod, who is a minister in his same party, says that he referred to her mental illness, and she came out a few years ago saying that she had suffered from depression, and it was a huge boost for people like me to hear somebody in the government, to hear in particular a woman who was very strong say, hey, I'm not embarrassed by this. I thought it was great. But she says in his book, Patrick Brown talked about her, and that people in the party were very skeptical whether or not she actually suffered from this illness or whether she was using it to boost her popularity, which is kind of bizarre because the rest of the world hides their mental illness, or much of the rest of the world, because they're ashamed and because they're afraid that people will think less of them. So what are the chances that someone actually says that to gain popularity? And I don't know what's written in the book. I mean, it's pretty well been spread around that it's there, but I wouldn't want to accuse Patrick Brown of anything if the book hasn't come out yet. We'll take a look at it. But anybody who does do that, anyone who says, you know what, I'm not too sure about this, you do a huge disservice to that person, but also to people like me. Because when you say that, you put the idea in other people's minds that, well, maybe people fake this illness. I wonder how often it happens. I wonder if it's incredibly rare, and I think it is, that people actually make up this illness to garner sympathy, to get people to feel sorry for them, to get people to change the way they view them. Actually, when I first came out and said that I was struggling with depression, there were people, and this was not malicious in any way, there were people who said, oh my God, that guy's brilliant. People thought that he was obnoxious and that he was arrogant. Now he comes out with this, and now people like him. Oh my God, he's so smart. Well,
you're getting rich off of it.
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
right?
getting rich off of it. Nothing says getting rich like going around talking about your mental illness. But it's incredibly damaging because when you say that, then you plant that seed in the mind of an employer, for instance, in the mind of who else would be would be in a position of authority? Well, anybody in a position of authority. So you have to, I think you have to keep that to yourself, because even if you're correct about one person, you damage a million other people. Because the next time someone knocks on their boss's door and says, you know what, boss, can I come in? You close the door behind you. You say, hey, I'm struggling with depression, for instance, and I need some allowances. I need some time. I need this or I need that. And that person remembers Patrick Brown or anybody else writing or saying that Lisa MacLeod maybe just used it to garner sympathy, then that employer might look at you differently. It's incredibly dangerous. So I guess to put this in a medical way, shut the fuck up if that's what you think. Because even if in the long shot that you're correct, you will do so much damage to everybody else that you just need to keep that thought to yourself. And besides, Lisa MacLeod, I met her about a month ago, and she is awesome. And just the thought that she would have made that up, it just seems too absurd. SickNotWeak.com, 24 hours a day, 364 days a year. We're here to dispel myths like people make this up to get sympathy or popularity. Nothing says being popular more than saying, I got a mental illness.